Hi everyone, it's Samantha back here with another fun little video, and I hope you guys are all okay. It's a beautiful day here actually in the northwest of England, although I think that the climate might be changing just a little. There's a little tiny hint of autumn in the air, which I really like because autumn is my favourite season. So what about you? What's your favourite season, guys? Let me know in the comments. I know seasons are different for all of us across the world, and it's generally pretty wet here. Although I like the fact that the nights are drawing in a little bit. So today I thought we would have a look at another little tiny bead weave type thing. These little units here, these little sticks, if you want to call them, or columns, or whatever it is that you like to call them. I think they look really cool, and all sorts of different jewellery applications. Here, as you can see, I've used some decorative head pins and made some beautiful earrings with some seed beads and some green agate cubes, which are really sweet. And I'm also making this really pretty, very summery actually, necklace for my mum, who likes these kind of colours. So I've literally just used the seed beads and some howlite. These are just dyed howlite heishi beads, I think they're called heishi beads, in gold, etc. You can also not use beads on the ends and just literally have them as little stations, and then you can wrap your wire around them, that kind of thing. All right, so it's a really simple, very easy but effective little tutorial, this one, and it's going to be a close-up, obviously, because you're going to need to see what I'm doing. So I will go ahead and apologise for my hands. I'm not one of those women who has beautiful long red fingernails or very pretty hands indeed. So if you don't like ugly hands, then go and watch another channel. All right, so I'm going to just clear these away and we'll get going on what materials you'll need, which is actually really small. All right, you don't need a lot to make these. Okay, so I'll see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and to start with, you're going to need a drink. I've got my coffee here, which I like, so grab, it depends on what time of day it is in your neck of the woods actually. Coffee for me, could be a red wine for you, could be a cup of tea or a gin and tonic, so you decide. I'll just have a slip. Delicious. Right, so all you're going to need today are some little seed beads. Now I'm using 11 O's, okay, and I'm going to just make another one for this because that's going to be another necklace. A little note about your seed beads. I would suggest that you use the most expensive ones that you can find, because the cheaper ones are very arbitrary in their shape and size. What you want is to find a really good brand that will have very consistent size, very consistent shape, which helps with the sort of brick fashion in which these guys fit together. Okay, so trust me when I say that Miyuki are probably the best brand to go for, and second to that perhaps Toho, but I would suggest you get Miyuki to make these guys. Okay, so you're going to need some 11O seed beads. These cute little vials are from a wonderful case actually that a sponsor, Art Dot, sent me to review, and if you'd like to see that video, it's up here. I do have an affiliate link for the case, so I'll pop the link to that particular video up top here for you to have a look at. Really handy, these guys, and I love this case. So you know, go for whatever you like. Little gold ones that I've used on here. I've used the little heishi beads as the stoppers on the end. You can do whatever you like with these, okay? But today I'm going to be using these guys because they're a little bit easier to see on camera. One extra tip about if you're going to be using metallic seed beads is to buy the galvanized or to buy the Duracoat versions, because you will find that when you're wearing these next to the skin, sadly, a lot of the time the coating, the gold coating, will rub off and you'll end up with, you know, clear spots on your beads. So if you can afford them, treat yourself to some Duracoat or at a push the galvanized versions of the seed beads. Okay, what else will you need? You're going to need a beading needle. Now I'm using a size 10 just because that's my preference. You get away with a size 11. A size 12 certainly would definitely fit through, but they're quite thin, aren't they, the 12s? So what else? Little pair of scissors just to cut your beading thread. Now I use the Nanofil and I use the crystal for these kind of things. You do need a decent filament beading thread. This is obviously fishing line, which, you know, Barclay make these, or Berkeley as you guys in the US call it, make really good lines. And this is the clear mist in a 0.15. okay, now this is perfect for bead weaving. You're going to need something with a bit of stability to it. The very soft, like the KO beading threads, are not going to help you very much, and you'll get a bit frustrated because you need a bit of substance, and I'll show you why in a little while. Okay, so that's what I'm using. What else? Let's have a think. At this particular stage, you don't need anything else, but I will be using the artistic wire 20 gauge, which is 0.8 millimeter, to actually make the component. All right, so if you've got some wire of that size, then go ahead and get that. And just your basic tools for wire wrapping. So you're going to need your pliers, your round nose or your 6-step bell making pliers, some cutters, and a little pair of chain nose. Okay, so I'll clear the table away and we will get going. Have a slurp of that gin and tonic, guys, and I'll see you in a few. Right, so we're back. Let's get going on making these little cute little beaded stations that you can use for all sorts of things. All right, really simple to make, but very effective, I think. So the first thing you're going to need is your beading medium, your thread. So again, like I say, I'm using this wonderful Nanofil. You don't need a huge amount, so I'd suggest, I don't know, about 25 centimeters, something like that, and just give it a cut off with a decent pair of scissors. So the next thing we need to do is to concentrate on threading our needle. So just bear with me for a second whilst I come off camera and my awful Mrs. Magoo eyesight, I can't see what I'm doing. So there you go. I have to go really close to my face. So the next thing I suggest you do is to put on a stopper bead. All right, so just grab a bead that is completely different colour to the beads that you're using and pull it down to about this. Am I not in focus here? Yes, let's hope I am. And just pop your needle through the bead and then back up. So I usually put my stopper bead on with 2 passes through it. All right, you're going to need a little bit of a length at the end here, so don't leave this tail too short, mainly because we're going to weave one end through and then tighten the other end on, you know, on the actual end of the unit. I'll show you what I mean when we get going. So I don't know, what's that, about 4 inches, something like that, 3 inches, that would probably do you. Right, so you can make these as long or as short as you like. These particular ones here, let me see. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're 10 beads to start with. These guys are slightly longer. I think I used 12. Can you see the difference in the sizes there? So you can make them as long as you like, actually. I mean, you know, I have made them where they're sort of 30 beads long, which make really long, thin stick earrings. But we'll go for 10 today, just because. So you take out your 11 seed beads. Now, when I'm editing, I will bring in this very close, because you're going to need to see what I'm doing, no doubt. It's a good job, really, isn't it? Tutorials are usually a good idea if you can see what somebody's doing. So let's begin. So what we do is we take our threaded needle and we pop on 10 seed beads. All right, so it's 3, 4, 5. This is where I always say talk amongst yourselves. There we go, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Lovely. So we have our 10 beads. I'm hoping this is going to, is that, yeah, that seems okay. All right, so let me just pop these out of the way. So we have our 10 beads on our cord here, you know, on our beading threads, should I say. I pop it upside down, all right, so that we have the stopper bead at the top and these 10 beads here. What I like to do is to bend them around my finger like so. All right, so everything's nice and tight and happy and safe and secure in here. Come along with your first bead, like so. And we don't go in the bottom bead, we go up through the next bead, which is here. All right, can you see that? So we pull it up like so. So I use my thumb and my forefinger to keep everything nice and straight. So what we're aiming for is to have these two beads next to each other on the bottom row. The thread comes out of the second bead up. So make sure you constantly give it a bit of a tug and keep everything nice and secure and tight, okay? Take another bead, another seed bead. We miss this one and go up through the next one. So essentially you are going up and through every alternate bead and pull. So as you can see here, we've got 2 and 1 and 2. Take another bead, miss the next one and up through the next one. Try and keep my big fat fingers out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so as you can see, as we're pulling, we're having 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, now don't worry at this stage, things will look a little bit squiffy, but don't worry about that, it all sorts itself out in the end. So we miss the next one and then up through the next one. You see that? So we pull that through, and again, as you can see, that makes 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Last one, so take our last seed bead and we miss this one and go through the top one. So that stopper bead has made sure, oh, plain, here we go. Yeah, there you go, it's passed over. So as you can see, that stopper bead has stopped all of the beads dropping off the end, which is essentially what you need. It keeps everything a little bit more tidy. So now we've done 2 rows, all right? So this is 2 rows. So as you'll see, you've got these sticking out beads here, which is what you're looking for. You should have 5. So this is called even count peyote stitch, okay? So there are some amazing artists out there who I will actually list in the description box. One of them is a wonderful lady called Jill Wiseman, who teaches bead weaving like nobody else. She's amazing, certainly for beginners. So I suggest you go and have a look at her page, her channel, should I say. And another one is a lady called Bronze Pony. I think she's called Stephanie. She's awesome too. I will link their channels. I've just literally learned on the fly, mainly from the lovely Jill Wiseman. So thank you, Jill. You need to go and have a look at her channel if you want some really in-depth beginner tutorials, because she's much better than me. Right, so what we need to do now is we need to come back down again. Okay, so we've started with the 10 beads, we've gone up, and then we need to come back down. So pop another bead on. All right, so you see where that sticky out bead is? You want to pop your needle, if I can see it with my silly eyesight, through there. So as you can see, this bead will sit on top of this one here. So pull. All right, so can you see that? It's sitting on the top. So get another bead. You see this other sticky out one here? Again, through and pull. And as you can see, the bead that we're adding pops into place in the space. So this space that we've got here, we're placing this bead into that space. All right, so the needle through this guy here, pull, and that pops into place. So each time, just give this a little bit of a tug, all right, so it keeps everything nice and neat and tidy, and that's just what we're looking for. Okay, so can you see? So we've got another space here, which we're going to fill with another seed bead. So we pop our needle through, and you'll find that every row that you do, things become a little bit more stable. The first couple of rows are a little icky because they just look a little bit all over the place, but it does actually work if you just have a bit of patience with it. And this last space here, can you see we've got this sticky out one, this sticky out one, and this recessed one. We want to put this bead in that space. So we pop our needle through and it pops into place. Okay, so that's our 3 rows done. All right, what we're aiming for is to have 4 along the bottom and 4 beads along the top. All right, so I'm just going to hoof through this next section here. So I've got a sticking out bead here, so we just basically move back up. So through, oops. All right, so through, and then your next bead, miss one through the sticky out one, like so, and then again, through, goodbye glory. He's a bit fed up, it's a bit warm in here I think. And then through this next sticky out one. Pop that into place. And then through the top bead. All right, so you'll get the principle. So every time you see a gap, you want to be filling that gap with a seed bead. I'll just do one more for you in front of the camera. Okay, so we have a space here at the top. We want to fill that with a seed bead. So pop that through, and as you can see, it fills the gap. I do make quite a lot of these with Delica beads because they are really, really straight and they look quite a lot neater. But I like the rounded seed bead version for this kind of thing. I just think it looks a little bit more organic. Okay, so fill that space. Gosh, my eyesight. Fill the space. And again, another bead to fill this space here. So we pop the needle through and downwards, like so. Pops into place. And then one final one in this space here. Through. And that one will fill that space. All right, so can you see here? We've got 3 beads at the bottom, 3 beads at the top. So I just want to go up one more time and back down one more time. In fact, I'll do that on camera. If you choose to fast forward, then that's absolutely up to you, whilst we have a chat about what you guys are up to. Let me know in the comments what you've been making. I do like to hear from you guys actually, so this is a chatty channel as well as it being an instructional one, as far as I can be instructional, of course. Most of the time I just wing it like everybody. So there we go. So you see we're moving upwards. Whoops. and upwards. The beauty of these is that you don't need a lot of materials. You can actually take these away with you and make them when you're on your holidays, your vacations, you know, if you go away for the evening and you're a bit bored. I mean, it's a very portable craft, is this. All you need is your little bottle or file of seed beads, a little bit of thread, and your needle and some scissors. Really, really easy. So you can make quite a lot of these. If you're at a really boring party, just whip out your beads and it'll be a talking point, won't it? Just make sure you've not had a few drinks beforehand, or else I can't guarantee the results. Righty-ho, so there we have it. All right, so we have, I don't know if you can see here, we have 4 across the bottom, then 4, then 4, carrying on until we've got 4 at the top. That's what we're aiming for. All right, so what we need to do is just loosen that guy off a little bit. All right, so the next thing we do is, this is a little fiddly, but stick with it, okay? We want to fold this guy in 2, like so. You see how I've folded that? And what we're going to be doing is essentially zipping this up. All right, but there's a way to do this. You've got to do it in opposite beads. So you'll find the bottom one sticks out. So you need to pop your needle through the bottom bead and pull. The next bead above is the sticky out bead. Not this one, but this one. So it all goes in like a zigzag. All right, so up through the next one and pull. So the next one is diagonally to the left through that one. Okay, so just keep doing them diagonally to the left, and it's the sticking out beads that you're looking for. So each time you go up, it's this one now, diagonal, and then this one on the diagonal. Can you see how we're zipping it up, but it's got to be the diagonal bead, not the directly underneath, but the one to the left. The sticky out beads. And one more. So this is the last one on the top here. All right, so we've zipped that guy up. All right, so as you can see at the top, we should have 4 beads in like a cube shape next to each other. And again, the same on the bottom. Okay. Right, so what you need to do now is give things a little bit of a tug. And what we want to be doing is to secure the top section. You've got a piece of your thread coming out of this bead here, and this thread coming out of this one here. To close that up, you want to take this right hand thread through that left hand bead, like so, and then back up again, the one to the right. Okay, now your cord, your thread may want to mess about with you, but that's fine, and then pull it tight. Oh, and it's come off. Bear with me for a second. There we go, back on. Why do these things happen when you're on camera? All right, so at the top here, we basically, where this thread is coming out, you want to pop your needle underneath this bridge thread here. So there's a thread that goes from one bead down into the next one, and that's like a bridge. So you want to pop your thread through like so, and then make a knot. Do that again. Just to make a knot in it. There you go. And then pull it. And give it a good tug and pull it secure. All right, so just remove your needle. So then I just come in and give it a bit of a snip. Okay, so that's your first thread woven in. So again, bring this guy off your stopper bead, and we want to do the same thing essentially. So again, you have to go ahead and use your wonderful eyesight, which is probably better than mine, to thread your needle, which I'm going to do off camera because I have to look over the top of my glasses. Oh, goodness me. Youth is wasted on the young, I say. So again, we need to do the same here. So because we secured that there, we do the same thing. Pop your thread through that bridge here, pull it through and give it a tug. It's just literally an overhand knot. All right, so I'll just get rid of that. You do have a little bit of wastage here going on, but there's nothing you can do about that, sadly. Right, and there you have your little stick made. Wonderful. So I just give it a bit of a roll just to settle things into place, like so, and there we go. So how's that? How cute is that? Really, really sweet. All right, so the next thing you need to do is decide what you're going to do with it. So I'll just show you what I've done here. So you just take some wire. I'm going to use probably 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 inches, something like that. You know, a decent piece. Probably a little bit too much, but you know me. And then you come in with your pliers and make a wire wrap loop essentially. So we've done these before, so I'll just zap through these. I'm using the second step on my plier. Round and round and about. You know how to make these by now, guys. And then we just grasp. Where's my little pliers? There they are. And make a wire wrap loop. Like so. And like so. Underneath. Excuse the pleasure flight again, I'm so sorry. Where's it going? Okay, so we've made a simple wire wrap loop. Just give that a bit of a tidy, as we always do. And then you need to pop your little station on. Now my best advice actually is you will probably struggle to get 18 gauge through here because the hole that we've created in the center is still quite tight, all right, because we've made only 4 beads around. Can you see? We've got 4 beads. I'm hoping that focuses, all right. So to get 1mm 18 gauge through there is going to be very difficult. I mean, I have done it a couple of times, but I suggest that you use 0.8 20 gauge for these. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to attach. So we just make another wire wrap loop, like so. So you can use these for all sorts of things. Chains for necklaces or glasses even, you know, if you wanted to suspend some spectacles off something like this. Again, like I've said, super for earrings. You just attach them in this way. So you can just sit down in front of the TV in the evening and make quite a few, and then when you're ready, you know, you can attach them all together. Just do it however you like. Yeah, a little bit too much there, Sam. I'm terrible. I'm going to have to get better at gauging how much wire you need. It's a bit wasteful having little pieces like that, but never mind. And then just tidy them up. Okay, so have fun with these. Like I said, you can do all sorts with these guys. You can, as I've done here, I've used a longer piece of wire and I've done like a wire wrap around the actual station itself, the beaded part itself. Or again, like with these guys, I've used different colours, obviously, and then put some Heishi beads on the ends. I think that looks quite effective too. And again, literally, you can use them as earrings. Make these guys as long as you like. If you like a long shoulder duster, you can make them really long. Just increase the amount of beads that you put on the first needle. So instead of the 10 that I put on here, try 20, try 30 even if you wanted to. But just have lots and lots of fun with them. Let me know how you get on in the comments. Again, I'm not an expert, so hopefully you managed to follow what I was doing. If not, let me know in the comments and I'll try and answer any questions that I can. All right, so I'll see you very soon in my next video where hopefully we'll have another brew and another chat and we'll make something very pretty. All right, so have a good week, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye.